We're back down here at the tower again today. Today we're going to cover what we're going to do for ladder rescues. We've already covered our lift outs in a previous video, so that portion we're going to limit up top to shorten this drill. We have to talk about some safety disclaimers first. Start off with this ladder's tied off. You can see it's got some webbing on the bottom of it. It's tied off to something substantial so it doesn't kick out. Anytime you're doing drills on concrete or blacktop or you're not able to sink it in the dirt, you should always have it tied off. Also, the rat angle of the ladder is important. You're not going to put this next to a window, above a window, or at your normal 75-degree angle. You're going to be putting this at a 60-degree angle, and you're going to be putting the tip right at the sill or a little bit below it, like this ladder place. Also, these two guys down here are doing what we call an aggressive heel. No matter what, especially in training, we always have two guys doing an aggressive heel. So you can see their foot placement. It's important. The toe is up on the ladder, he's pushing in with the toe. He's got his leg kicked out to the side, his hands are making contact with the ladder. He's always watching to see what's going on. The importance of having two guys, one on either side of this ladder, it's very windy today, so you may or may not get a lot of wind on the video, but if we're throwing this for real, the tip of that ladder, as soon as a firefighter comes out on it, you put a two-person load up there with a rescuer and a down firefighter, the tip of that ladder is very easily going to go off the side of the building. So these guys are going to be opposing forces pushing against each other to stabilize that ladder. This is very important. We don't need anybody getting hurt in training. So now that we've covered this, we're going to move up and we're going to talk about some individual functions on how to rescue firefighters on the ladder. All right, one more thing on aggressive heel. When you got your hands on the ladder and you're aggressively heeling, you don't want your foot over here to the side, and you don't want your foot straight on with the ladder. You want to split the difference and go at a 45-degree angle so you have pressure against the building and also pressure on the tip. This is your proper aggressive heel, and you always want to watch and make sure you know what's going on above you. Don't just stare at the ground. Okay, this scenario we're going to talk about the lift out of a firefighter face down with the pack still on. One of the methods we showed in a previous video of our lift outs was the Covington lift out. As you can see, this firefighter still has a pack on. This is a two-person drill. You can actually use two guys. If you've got four, it'll make it that much easier. What I want to show is this is what it looks like as a finished move. This is Mike underneath here, okay? He's actually already done the lift out. We've got the firefighter in position to be rescued to go down the ladder. His partner, being Vangan here, is going to just guide these feet and make sure that his shoulders and arms clear the windowsill, and then he makes it out onto the ladder. At this point, there's no weight and no pressure on Mike or Vangan. Bruce is going to go ahead and receive our victim onto the ladder, and to do this with a pack on, it's a little more difficult because you still have to make up the distance of the pack being in your chest. But we'll go ahead, guys, work them on out, and Bruce is going to talk a little bit about how to cradle the victim and where to position your arms when you receive them. Go ahead.
He's unconscious, so naturally when he comes out, his hands are going to be down and dangling. That's going to be the biggest thing, is to control that and get him swept off to the side to where you can cradle him. Another thing is going to be communication with these guys. Everybody's going to be amped up, wanting to push, 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 push. But if your guy on the ladder's not ready, you're going to wind up pushing them both off. So that's going to have to be an aggressive part on me, being on the ladder, controlling these guys, making sure they get into me properly and safely. So that's going to be, okay guys, give me a second. Okay, give me the feet slowly, slowly. Nice and easy. All right, got him.
Okay, just showing you the other angle of this, what it looks like, because arm placement and the way you receive the victim is very important, especially when you lose that distance, when you have to make up that distance from having a pack on it. So what we're going to show here is Dower's going to go ahead and receive our victim. Go ahead, Dower. He's going to send him out, and he's going to push the head of the firefighter one way or the other on the ladder. He's going to decide what direction he wants him to go, and he's going to go ahead and, as soon as he gets him on, I'm going to have him stop. Stop, Dower, right there. Now, if you notice, Dower's left arm is between the legs and around the back of the ladder, okay, to have positive connection. His right arm is going to be, let's walk around here and take a look. His right arm is now over top of the shoulder, okay, in between the head and the shoulder. That's what he wants when he receives the victim. as soon as he stops the momentum of the victim and starts his descent, he's going to take that arm that's below him. Dower, go ahead and push his arm out, the lower arm. Get underneath his shoulder. Get underneath. There you go. Now, the weight of the victim transfers. Let your left arm come down a little bit lower. There you go. Now he can get him closer to the ladder and go ahead and start his descent. The only time you have your arm between the head and the shoulder is when you receive the victim out onto the ladder. Go ahead. Okay, now again, we've already talked about the lift outs. We're just going to illustrate how this works. This is the New York style lift out. He's going to go out face down, feet first, still with a pack. The reasons why we go with these variations is because the more times we can create scenarios where we leave the pack on the firefighter, the better chance of his survival is. So this is why we choose these drills. So you guys go ahead and communicate, and you're going to watch. Scott's going to manage these feet. Mike's going to go ahead and get him up, out onto the ladder to Ronnie. Go ahead, guys.
Ready, Ron. Ready. Go.
Okay. Now, since we're here, we're going to go ahead. Ronnie, go ahead and talk to him, Ron. Tell him what you're doing there.
Need to move him out some more and get him off.
Now, as Ron's going down, he's keeping his arms extended and around the back of the ladder, so he makes positive contact. If any time that firefighter is going to slip and fall, he can press the firefighter against the ladder, the victim. He also has a knee in between his legs, and his legs are spread. And you'll see that a little bit better on the video from down below. Okay, we've got our firefighter out on a ladder, okay? Scott's going to show us what this looks like from down here. It's a little bit different because we get to leave the pack still on the firefighter, okay? So he's going to go ahead and split the legs. He wants to get those legs spread, and he wants to get a knee up high. You can leave one knee up high so that firefighter can slide down and rest on that knee, whichever one he feels comfortable with. His hands remain behind the ladder so he can pull himself in tight and keep that positive connection. Because at any point in time, if this firefighter regains consciousness on any one of these drills, you've got to have positive connection because he'll push you right off the ladder and both of you are done. Okay, we've already covered in the lift outs portion of the videos, the previous video, about how to do a pack removal to lift a firefighter out of a window. Now we're going to talk about, as in the lift out video, we've already gone low, we've already reconnected our arms as you see here, okay? So we can see that we have a rescuer on the ladder, okay? He's ready to receive. When he goes out face up, feet first, the pack has to come off. Now, we're going to show how this goes because these guys are going to go ahead and lift out and communicate with the firefighter on the ladder to do this rescue. Right, go ahead, guys. Go. Now, go ahead and stop, Bruce. You guys step away. We take a look from this on the top. We see the firefighter is laying flat on his back. The legs are over top of Bruce's shoulders and they pivot at the knee. He's got to be in tight enough that the legs get over top of his shoulders. He maintains control of this firefighter by positive contact to the ladder. If it was any steeper of an angle than this, then we wouldn't be able to have this positive contact. Right now, all of his weight is being transferred, for the most part, onto this ladder, and there's very little on Bruce. He's more guiding the firefighter down the ladder. And if you watch his arms are back behind the beams, and he's going to extend his arms to make enough distance between the firefighter's butt and the ladder to get him to move. Go ahead, Bruce. Because the firefighter's coat will actually get hung up on the ladder. is Dower's going to go ahead and do the same rescue that you just saw a minute ago, but we're going to show you what it looks like from down here. Go ahead, Dower. Pull him out. Now, as you can see, Dower's doing a nice job of pushing out on the back of the knees to keep the rear end of the firefighter from dragging down the ladder. Now, one of the things too is that his hand, if he ends up with a problem, and this firefighter seems like he's going to lose control of it, all he has to do is squeeze the back of the ladder and press himself into the firefighter, and he's going to stop. He's not going anywhere. How much pressure's on you, Dower? On my shoulders? Yeah, do you feel any weight at all?
No.
Okay, the ladder's carrying the majority of the weight when done properly. Go ahead, continue. Now when we get to the bottom, we need to go ahead and be able to take this firefighter off the ladder. So these two guys are going to peel off, and they're going to grab the victim underneath the legs as he comes down, get around the back, and they're going to help to carry. And step away from the ladder. And you can set them on a cot or backboard or anything. Good. Turn it off.